So wouldn't you know it, just when things start looking good, just when we start to get back on track, just when we start to exhale and settle back into the industry, the reports of a downturn or a bubble or a slowdown start popping up everywhere. It really kind of feels like the post-economic crash real estate industry gods never really want you to get comfortable if you're still here working in the industry. You know what I mean? What you knew yesterday doesn't apply to today, and wait, some of it does, some of it doesn't. Things are good, things are bad, things are great. Really, it's just manic. But hey, if you're still here amongst the crazy, then you're probably a little bit like me and you secretly enjoy it. Well, some of it. Anyways, here's the latest reports addressing the goings-on in real estate. The 411s, as the kids would say. The haps on the snaps. Good God, man, get to the point. Sorry, I'm playing a manic host, referencing manic behavior. Anyways, several media outlets have addressed the looming downturn. I read several, but I wanted to talk about one in particular. National Mortgage News released an article written by Lynn, who has more than 3 decades in housing and mortgage services. And Lynn, well, he didn't hold back. Good old Effinger, sounds like a bad name, doesn't it? Anyways, laid out his points in a pretty direct fashion, stating, with mounting indicators clearly showing that the so-called housing recovery has just been an illusion, and many housing industry pundits who formerly touted said recovery now recanting their views, there should be no doubt that we're headed for another future housing downturn. Wow, tell us how you really feel, Lynn. So good old Effinger lays out his evidence. Let's take a look. Some of it I agree with, some not so much. First, he states, there remains a shadow inventory of properties that have been foreclosed on but have not been released into the market, which has helped to artificially drive up home prices. You know, shadow inventory is like an honest politician. You've heard of them, but you've never really seen one for yourself. But he has a point. We don't know what we don't know about these mystery properties. Let's take a look at some of his other points. A foreclosure backlog remains in states that have judicial foreclosure processes. Okay. The dramatic influx of institutional investors buying up pools of REO properties to turn them into rentals also contributed to the rising home prices. But now these institutional investors are selling off part of their portfolios because their business model was flawed by not taking into consideration the decreasing home value prices, and their vacancy rates are rising. Okay, I'll give you that one. We've talked a lot about that here on the show. Fewer and fewer first-time buyers are entering the market due to more stringent mortgage lending guidelines. I could see that one, but that could go either way. I know plenty of people that are crushing it with the first-time homebuyer business right now. The affordability, or lack thereof, has stalled the market, and in some areas prices are dropping. Yeah, but really only a few targeted areas. Mortgages that were modified under the Treasury Department's HAMP program are beginning to recast, and the ensuing higher interest rates will force more homeowners into foreclosure. Now that one I agree with actually 100%. The federal government is encouraging lenders to make loans to low-income buyers again and lower FICO requirements. True, but not like it was back in 2005. They still have to prove their ability to repay. That's the big difference. There has been no effort to create decent paying jobs in America, and without them the economy cannot grow, and the housing industry will remain stagnant or worse, despite what some celebrity economists say. As the housing market goes, so does the general economy. This is fact, not fiction. I love that last one because he throws a few jabs at the celebrity economist there, and I also agree with this one. Effinger closes with a pretty strong statement stating, on top of this, you can add the contraction of the US economy in the second quarter of nearly 3%. This clearly demonstrates the weakness of the American economy. There's a growing majority of people in our country today who believe there's no leadership in Washington, on either side of the aisle, that are capable of dealing with economic issues such as the housing market, or maybe they're just simply preoccupied with getting reelected. Obviously, Mr. Effinger isn't making any friends in Washington with statements like that. Psst, Lynn, you're not gonna get invited to the ball with that potty mouth. They just don't like it. Nevertheless, we owe it to ourselves and our clients to weigh his comments heavily and form our own opinion to share with our colleagues and our clients. After all, aren't we advising them on their future purchase or long-term mortgage? We should be able to answer these questions should a homebuyer actually read one of these articles. Better yet, why don't you own it? Post this article on your social media site with the caption, "Is now still a good time to purchase a home?" or something like that. Just make sure you have your rebuttal ready. I like this approach because You're being real with your clients. Contrary to what everybody has posted for the last 10 years, mortgage rates aren't always at their 30-year lows, and it's not always the best time to buy. You're not like jamming sugar and rainbows down their throat. You're being real with them. You'll be surprised at the reaction you get, in a good way. That being said, I personally do still think it's a great time to purchase, and yes, I do have my reasons if any of you would like to know. Let's talk about it down below. Let us know what you think, good or bad, and we'll see you guys next week. National Mortgage News released an article written by Lynn who has